vast majority of these women that join our service are looking for someone, a good relationship, a way to better their life, all that kind of stuff. When you're in a social like we do, that's why I love our group tours, because these socials are, let's put it in military parlance, it's a target-rich environment, okay?
Yes.
Right? I mean, look, these women, and look, we don't give everybody polygraph tests. Any guy, well, how do you screen the women? How do I know she's not going to come here and do this or do that? No. Look, what do you want me to do? Hook every woman up to a polygraph test? And hit every guy up to a polygraph test? You just can't do that. But the vast majority of these women that join our service are looking for someone, a good relationship, a way to better their lives, all that kind of stuff, right? I look at it a big bell curve. In the middle of that bell curve, you got the majority of men and women doing what they're supposed to be doing. Then you got players on either side, both men and women who will play games. Hopefully the players meet each other and play their games with each other and leave us alone in the middle to do what we're doing. But it doesn't always happen that way. You might encounter a player, and the women might encounter players. It's just how it is. Like I kept saying, this is real life. But for the vast majority of these women, when they're at their social, that's why they're there. They want to meet someone. You guys tell me that's why you're there. You want to meet someone for a serious relationship. So when you put those two populations of individuals together in a nice environment that could create kind of speed dating, controlled, all that, and everyone's comfortable, everyone feels good, and then you add a little champagne maybe, and you stir the pot a little bit, things happen, things pop. That's why we get engagements on these tours. That's why these are happening, because you're not just going to some random nightclub and just going up and talking to some random woman, but she's married, or she's this, or she's that. Well, these are individuals that say they want to be there. They want to meet someone, and that's why they're there. So that's why I love our group tours, because they're the most effective and efficient way you go about doing it. The other great thing about these group tours is that you're going to have the opportunity to meet people you never knew you wanted to meet. Because when you go on our tours, you can give us a list of these women that you think you want to meet, and we will try to have them at the social events so you can meet them, right? But then there's other women that you never knew you wanted to meet that you're going to run into. And just by being there, and a lot of times you'll end up marrying women you never knew than the ones that you really thought you wanted to meet. And a quick story I can tell you about that. I remember Bob. Bob's a great guy, actually. Married to a wonderful woman that he met through us. But Tanya and I were on that tour with him, and we go to the first social. The reason he went on that tour, he said, was because he was writing to this woman, and wanted to meet her, but he wanted to take the tour just in case. So she was going to be at the first social. We go to the first social, and this is like his dream woman. And he's in the social, and he doesn't even recognize her. She recognized him. So she came up to him. And then after they started talking and connected, he came out, and he was like shivering. He's like, oh my God, this is so great, John. This is it. And he's so happy and everything. I'm like, that's great, Bob. That's wonderful. But you really should think about going to the second social, just in case. I mean, just go. You're here. You paid for it. What the hell? Just go to the next social. So Bob reluctantly went to the next social. But he's like, no, I'm done. He's going through the motions, talking to the women. And oh my God, he's like, he comes out of that social, he's like, she knocked my socks off. This woman is amazing. This woman is. And so for the next 7 days, Bob is dating the one woman from the first social. And then the second woman, he's going out with both of them at different times of the day. And about 11, 12 o'clock at night, Tanya and I would come back to the hotel, and there's Bob walking. I don't know what to do. They're both there. And he's just so conflicted, because now this woman that he never knew about, and would have never known about if not for that social, is now in his head. He doesn't know what to do. And I go right down the list, pros and cons. And Bob, by the way, you don't have to propose right now. I mean, you can date them for a while, come back, like you said, you don't have to do this right now. But Bob wanted to do it now. So Bob did do it, but Bob didn't propose to the woman he was writing to, the woman he came over to meet, the love of his life, he thought, which would have been probably the woman he would have actually proposed to, if not for going to the next social. But he did propose to that woman, and he did marry her. And he called me like 3 years later out of the blue. He's like, John, I just wanted to call just to think it's been an amazing 3 years of my life. And actually, on the last tour that we did, him and his wife flew there and talked to the guys that were over there and everything. So it was really cool. And he's a great guy. But that story illustrates why it's so important to go to all the socials. It's all that opportunity. I said earlier, 90% of success in life, maybe not that much, but close, is just showing up. just putting yourself in an opportunity to be successful. Well, you're not going to be successful by sitting there writing letters all the time and just hoping something's going to happen, because it's not. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But if you actually go over and you meet these women, I had another guy call me. He said, I went on your tour and I got married, but it wasn't through any of the women I met during the tour. It was from a woman who worked in the restaurant down the street from where we were doing the social. I just met her there. Well, that's great. I don't care where you meet her. She can be a cab driver for all I care, as long as you meet someone. Right? Get out.
Are you a single man looking for love? Perhaps you should consider expanding your horizons. Interested? Learn more at
CartagenaWomen.com.
Ricky Baker, Monster Boy, papá.